What did my business coach teach me? I was very lucky. I found my business coach just a few years out of starting my business. I think about 5 or 6 years in, he transformed me and then therefore transformed my business. He's since passed away, but he was probably the single greatest influence and impact on my life outside of my parents and my family. He taught me really profound things that when I tell you are so fundamental, you're like, did somebody really need to teach you that? Well, yeah, because this boy didn't know it. And it's not going to be some weird, Nintendo back, up, A, B, down, left, right button, start thing. It's not like that. It's execute the fundamentals. And so one of the things he taught me was he gave me permission basically for a bunch of different things. He gave me permission to say what I think. And you're like, that's the life-changing advice? Yeah, if you're a guy who hides his thoughts.
It's pretty big.
If you're an introvert, if you're afraid that people will feel offended if you ask them, like, how'd you come up with this idea? Or do you recommend this? Or how are you going to make the decision as to who you're going to work with? And those are things I never thought I could ask a prospect, because we are taught somewhere it's rude to ask those kind of questions, or it's uncouth to do that. What are you, some cretin, knuckle-dragging mouth breather? And initially, the reaction I got from people, because no one's ever asked them those kinds of questions, was a little friction. You push past the friction, and what they do is they give you insights. But what's really important is they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel appreciated. And now I feel like the job is already ours and we haven't even done any creative work yet. So now we can only screw it up with bad creative. So that's how we went from closing 25% of the jobs to closing 85% of the jobs. And at this point, I really literally feel this way because I've done it too. I've closed $1 million job before, and I can close a $10 million job. Give me a buyer who's really serious. Give me the information I need. I will close that person, because he just taught me how to be human, how to relate to people. So I will say to people who have an adverse reaction to selling, I said, selling isn't what you think it is. Selling is serving. Selling is helping someone. And if you're passionate about what it is that you do and you believe in the solution, helping the person find a solution that's good for them is the most natural thing to do. So we don't have to learn how to sell. We just have to learn how to be human first. So that's just one of the things. Another thing he gave me was permission to be the boss. It's really weird, because he's like, Chris, you're sitting here holding meetings with your executive producer, with your creative directors, and you allow them to make decisions for you, but your instincts are better than all of theirs combined. So he says, as the boss, if someone's going to be wrong, you have the first right to be wrong. You've earned the right to be wrong, because you're the ones who stays up late at night. You're the one who has to let people go. You're the ones who has to deal with that stress and that burden. You should be the first person to be wrong. So take that right now.
Yeah, because you know what's funny? Like the office that we're recording in, so he's a buddy, and he's like, I had a coach, it was for someone that had a publicly traded company, whatever. He's like, didn't get much from it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, our coach is really good, so.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing that, and it's funny because I'll bring up a Gary Vaynerchuk thing. You might think a basketball is worthless. And he goes on to say, a basketball is pretty worthless to me. I've blown out 2 Achilles. And I'm like, this is not anything for me. So you can say basketballs are stupid, they're not worth anything. But you give the basketball to LeBron James and it's worth $1 billion because he knows how to use it. Because a coach didn't work for you doesn't mean coaches are not good. He went for the name brand. He went for the accolades versus the person, right? And we get trapped in this all the time. It's called the halo effect. So if somebody goes to Harvard, we just assume they must be good. We just attribute too much. Somebody's good looking, we think they're good salespeople. You're not looking at this objectively with clear eyes. Look at the substance, not the veneer. And he's looking at the veneer. And I have many friends who fall down this trap, right? Mostly because they're insecure about something and they see like, oh my God, I want a publicly traded company, therefore I must listen to this person.
This message is brought to you by Leveling Up Founders. And Leveling Up Founders is an invite-only event for founders. It happens once a year, usually during August. And past attendees include people such as Ali Abdaal, Cody Sanchez, Neil Patel, Vanessa Lau, and the list goes on and on. And ultimately, it comes down to the quality of the group of the people. We try to keep the group high caliber. That's why it's invite only. So if you are a founder at the top of your game, you can go to levelingup.com/founders to learn more about it, and you can apply. And we'll see you on the other side.